Happy New Year and welcome back to History Snippets. This is our first episode for 2021 and we are going to talk about lemons. Of course, lemons are a commonplace thing today, but they also were fairly common in the 19th century. In fact, I would say that they're probably more central to a lot of things in the 19th century than they are today. You could find lemon in all sorts of things, from recipes to medicinal properties to cleaning supplies, just like we find lemon in that way today. In fact, when I was researching lemons for today, I went and looked at Mrs. Owen's cookbook. It's an Illinois cookbook from 1871. There were at least like 10 to 15 different lemon pies. There were a lot of lemon cakes. And then when I was looking in a book, A Helping Hand for Town and Country, I could find all sorts of other uses for lemon for many, many different ailments. Even cancer, there was a treatment. But also there was lemon used in different tooth powders of the time, different perfumes and colognes. If you recall our perfume video from a few weeks ago, we actually did have a lemon extract in that perfume. But lemon was also used as a preservative in a way. It was great to have the citric acid to be able to preserve when you were canning, which came around in the mid-19th century. But how did the lemon become so popular in America? Well, it's a little surprising because we didn't have much area to be able to grow lemons. Up until the late 19th century, most of our lemons in this country actually were imported, and many of those were imported from Sicily. There was a paper written in 2017 about the origins of the Sicilian Mafia having to do with the lemon production. This paper argues that the rise of the Sicilian Mafia in the 19th century is actually correlated with production of citrus fruits like lemon and oranges. Going back through economic records, it actually can be found that different areas where there was a lot of citrus production actually developed more of that mafia presence. And at the time, they were actually used as protection for the people growing the lemon. In 1861, Italy had just declared independence, and the government wasn't entirely strong enough to be able to protect all of these lemon growers in such a lucrative field. So the lemon growers started hiring different people that were associated with the mafia. And this paper puts forth that that was one of the ways that the mafia became such a stronghold that we hear about, in later pop culture references. The people who were growing citrus fruits at that time really made a lot of money because there are only a few places in the world where the temperature is consistent enough for lemons to grow. So anybody growing lemons really had a monopoly on that field. Even though the Sicilian lemon was the most popular one in America in the 19th century, lemons had started to be grown in America as early as the 1700s. We know that Spanish missions at that time were actually growing some lemons in our southwest United States. The Sicilian lemon was still the stronghold of lemons in America. They were much preferred because they tasted better, they were larger, they kept better. At the time, a Sicilian lemon would go for a little over 50 cents in today's money, but a California lemon would be around 25 cents. But there was a big battle with tariffs to make sure that the American lemon actually became the more popular lemon, and a lot of the lemons we have today are California lemons. One curious thing that I did find when I was researching was in Mrs. Owen's cookbook. The beginning of the cookbooks makes a big show of saying that this cookbook was made specifically for women in Illinois who didn't have access to a lot of these ingredients that you could get on the East Coast. And yet, while the lemon wasn't incredibly expensive, it was something that needed to be shipped from either California or from overseas. And I just thought that was a really curious thing that they are promoting so many lemon recipes with the fact that somebody that lives out on a farm who maybe can't get into market very often may not have as much access to a lemon as, one of the women in town. And that is all for our history snippets for today. Thank you guys, and we will come back with another one next week.